I'm Filipe Veiga. I'm from Portugal. I was born in the late 70s. I work as an IT consultant. Porto is the second city in Portugal. It's a nice city. It's a bit rainy. It has a lot of places to visit. Historical city, a medieval neighborhood. I like to read, to walk. I also like to travel. I lived in Brazil for a couple of years where I met my wife. Then I came back to Portugal with the interest in retro and preservation, software preservation. I started my company.
Congratulations. You have driven all the highway.
One of the games that we are going to publish very soon is not a new game. In fact, it's a re-release of a classic game, City Connection, which is an arcade game from the 80s. And in Portugal, there were some guys in the 80s. They made a game for the ZX Spectrum. They tried to get a publisher in the 80s, but they did not have any luck. So the game was kind of lost, and that is one of the games we are going to release. Teknamic is the, let's say, the Portuguese company, but we started in Brazil with Teknamic. In 2019, I met Marcos Garré. Marcos Garré is a historian. He works on a library, so he used it to write about old stuff. He had in the past, I not quite know the word in English, but he had a store like Blockbusters. He sold games and rented games in the past, so he knows a lot of the video games history in Brazil since the early 80s. He witnessed the coming of the video games in Brazil. So I asked him why we don't go further, why we don't make these games available in the formats, physical and digital, and why we don't ask the veterans to still make games today. Because the veterans, they have a different perspective of doing things from that times, the restrictions of memory, the restriction of colors, doing programming in assembly, and I think that is a good lesson for the programmers and game creators today. I was an avid player in the 80s. I had those Game & Watch devices. They were my first experience in video games, but they were not interactive in a way that we could change the Game & Watch. I tried as a kid. I opened a Game & Watch and I tried to replace that painted card that the Game & Watch have, but I ruined the Game & Watch. It was the first time I tried to do something related to games. Then two games that were really amazing for me was Prince of Persia. I played the PC version. It was amazing. And Doom. Clearly, Doom for the PC. I remember the year of 94. The summer of 94 where I played Doom all my holidays, and it was groundbreaking for me. And there are others. I think that all of them make me want to trying to understand how the game was made. I've made a few games. I wrote a few articles about programming and retro programming, but right now, as a publisher, a producer, I have my time more dedicated to producing, to help programmers to make the product. So yeah, I don't think I can program and produce games at the same time. It's very, very hard, but it's also fun. It's also fun because I like to make people connect. For example, those old veteran programmers, they do the program, but sometimes they need a pixel artist for the loaded screen, or they need a composer to do the music, and I found them and I make the product viable and possible. that is the mission of our company, is get games from the past, lost or not lost, and make them available in physical editions. I usually say that is we bring the past to the present so the future generations can still feel or trying to feel the same way we felt on that age.